What up is Marcus Dynasty Fun Dads. We have a DeAndre Swift. Look at that jersey signed. When we hit 2K, we're going to be giving it away to one of you guys, which I hopefully is very soon. I am so excited for the Dynasty Rookies 2022 rookies. We're doing the first round. We're going to do the first 6 picks of the first round. We'll do 7 through 12 in the next video here. I just want to go through the first 6 players. Now, I've been addicted watching some of these videos of some of these top players, whether it's Treylon Burks, Isaiah Spiller, Garrett Wilson, all these different prospects, and even more. And we are starting to dive into the film and going through a little bit of the analytics as well. But this is just the brief, like I told you about the brief 2022 summary, kind of the footnotes of the book. This is starting to get a little bit deeper through each of the players. And we'll probably do player-by-player overviews, but we're just going to go through the top 6 here. Probably a nice little 5 to 10 minute video. We're going to start off this. So this is, again, if you said, hey, you got to pick right now, which would suck because we don't have pro day, we don't even have draft combine, we don't have a team landing spot, which all sucks. So we just have basically the performance besides the national championship game, which would be Alabama and Georgia. So you're looking at maybe Jamison Williams as being the only player affected there. Of like the top even 10 players. Georgia Pickett's in there too. But anyways, okay. So number 1, let's get right into it. Breece Hall, 6'1", 250 pounds. And if you told me 12 months previously, who would have I had to pick? It would have been Breece Hall. Breece Hall has kind of been the player of note over the last, I would say 12 months. I mean, a guy out of Iowa State, he had a 10.9 target share. Just think of that as a running back in college having a 10.9 target share is elite. He had a 41.9% dominator, which, again, when you look at dominator ratings, you're looking at like Elijah Mitchell's, and that's why we really liked Elijah Mitchell last year, and James Robinson. Big dominators. And those sometimes will translate really well into the NFL level. And Breece Hall has that at 41.9%. Jeez. He's 20.6 years old. He does have some weaknesses. He's a really good runner, but the biggest weaknesses is he likes to break things outside. He does have really good speed, but he has like Najee speed, I would say. Najee's worked on his speed. He does not have an elite speed. He doesn't have Jonathan Taylor speed. He doesn't even have Treylon Burks speed, of course, wide receiver, but he has decent speed, good speed. And so he has a lower top end speed. And so it'll be interesting to see in the collegiate level how he translates from collegiate to NFL level, where players are, of course, faster and going to cut those angles a little bit sharper on him. And it'll be interesting to see. That might be his biggest, I guess, growing pain is if he starts bouncing things outside going, oh, I'm not this much faster than players. I'm this much faster than players. And so that might become a problem for Breece Hall. But 101 right now, and this is super flex too. Honestly, I don't like any of the quarterbacks I've been watching tape on. I mean, it's been bad. But we'll just say this is 1 QB. I need to watch more film on Superflex because right now I'm really, like, it's like throwing up in a bucket. It is not... It's not good. It is... I can't remember what year that they had Elijah Manuel and Geno Smith was at 2013, and then Matt Barkley. It was a year where there wasn't like a top 10 quarterback. I think Elijah Manuel went to the Bills, and then Geno went somewhere. Barkley went somewhere as well. It was that was a bad year of quarterbacks. I could see this happening again with quarterbacks. But number 2, and there's a lot of, and I would say there's a tier of 5 here right now, and so the 6th player will be just outside that tier and start a new tier, but it's Treylon Burks. He's 6'3", 232 pounds, and what I'm looking for at number 102 here is high upside. And Treylon Burks, 45.9% dominator, which is ridiculous, 92%, 31% target share, that's 93%. He is physical and he is fast. I mean, he could run a 4.340, he could run a sub 4.340. Like, when you're talking, if you have 4.340 from a 6'3", 232 pound player, and he's physical and he's just good with his hands. I mean, he has huge hands. I mean, you're talking 5XL gloves. That especially make stupid gloves for him. That is how big his hands are. I mean, it's like freaking putting catcher mitts out there. Treylon Burks has those tools that are, again, tools like DK Metcalf, like tools that could make him a wide receiver 1 like that in fantasy football. And that's what I want from Treylon. That's what I want in a wide receiver. And again, when we look at these running backs are all probably below for surely below Najee and Javonte. And so when you're looking into these players, am I saying Treylon Burks, now that he's 102, compared to maybe like a Jamar Chase and stuff? I'm not saying that he's better than Jamar Chase. Of course not. I'm saying that this is a weaker draft class. And so Treylon Burks being 102, he could even be 101 in this case if you really, really need a wide receiver. And so Treylon Burks right now, 6'3", 232, just an amazing freak athlete, physical, fast, hands, does have occasional drops, and does need to expand his route tree, which are concerns. I don't like those concerns, but those are concerns that I'm willing to kind of wish to the side because of his freakish abilities otherwise. Number 3, 103 here, Kenneth Walker. Him and number 4 are going to be kind of interchangeable here. I have a really hard time determining which one I like better, and you'll see 1,636 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5'10", 210. He is athletic. He has really good lateral agility. He has excellent contact balance, which is exactly what you want from a running back. But again, from a transfer over to Michigan State, Michigan State. I was like, what did I just say? You want a player that has a little bit more development in him. And so he has some spotty vision at times. You look at that and you look at some of his plays and you go, like, why did he choose that hole type thing? But I had similar concerns with Jonathan Taylor's vision at times. And so Jonathan Taylor, of course, was a top 2 pick dynasty-wise in 1 QB 2 years ago, and I had him as a top 2 pick. And so Kenneth Walker could fix those vision problems. That might be just experience issues. He also has issues pass blocking, which only concerns me on 3rd down per se, because pass blocking, it's a trait that you need, but also a trait that, really, how can I say this lightly? It's a trait that you don't necessarily need. There are plenty of teams that are willing to kind of pass that B, and they'll work around your weaknesses of being a poor pass blocker. Lots of play action. They'll throw you in more of a bunch of different route tree. So Kenneth Walker doesn't concern me in those regards. But 104 right next to him is Isaiah Spiller, 6'1", 225. This guy is your physical back. He will run you over. Again, kind of one of his biggest weaknesses, you could say, is I find him lacking some wiggle at times because he wants to run you over. And when you're 6'1", 225 pounds, you can do that at the collegiate level. It'll be interesting how that translates to the other level, but he has good vision too. So he's good at finding those gaps, those holes that open up. He's a very good one-cut runner. Now, if you're talking about a guy that, if you wanted a running back that's going to have all this different wiggle and all these broken, I'm trying to think, like a Camara, you're not looking at Isaiah Spiller. That is the opposite of Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller is we are going to run to the 3 gap. Oh, no, the 1 gap's open. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to run through somebody if somebody gets in my way. And that is Isaiah Spiller, and I like that. He's 104 for a reason. It's not like I don't like him. His vision's good. His physical's good. Pass pro, again, pass protection, a little bit down, which maybe some of these guys can fix those issues. I think those are issues that you can fix and can teach. 105, we got 2 left, so 105, and then we have 106. 105, Garrett Wilson. He is 6 feet tall, 188 pounds, and if you liked him much more than this, and you're like, how dare you have him at 105? You know what? I totally understand. Watching video of him so far, he is a route running master at times. I'm thinking Terry McLaurin-esque. And when you look at Terry McLaurin, he is a guy that will set up defenders, almost like a basketball player doing crossovers. There are times where it's like, oh man, that guy has inside coverage. And the more I learn about football, the more I can understand video. And I've done this now for a couple of years of watching video, and I go, oh hey, that guy's shaded inside. He's protecting that inside. And when that wide receiver can still get in your inside, like when you're protecting inside and he's able to set you up and go inside, that just tells me that he's at a different level than some of these other wide receivers. And he really is. That route running, let's just say Garrett Wilson goes to a better team than Treylon Burks. I could easily see Garrett Wilson being ahead of Treylon Burks because of the safety. Garrett Wilson, I think, will be an excellent wide receiver at the NFL level no matter what. Treylon Burks has a lot more risk to him. He's a lot more... if you said who would be the number 1 overall wide receiver in fantasy, Treylon Burks has a better chance of that. But Garrett Wilson has a better chance of being a wide receiver 1 in fantasy because he is safer. So lead it as you may, right? Bigger boom, Treylon Burks. Bigger bust, Treylon Burks. Safer. And probably going to be better the wide receiver 6 out of 10 times, Garrett Wilson. But that 4 out of 10, man, it's tempting because you get that player that becomes wide receiver 2 overall in Dynasty or 3 overall in Dynasty or something like that, and they almost become untradeable. And that's where Garrett Wilson, I think, lacks that ability. He also has some focus drops. He also slacks on some of the blocking that I've seen so far. So just things that I have seen that just go, he's not the perfect wide receiver. He's really, really good, but he's not perfect. Actually, there is a tier 7. I missed a player. We'll get to number 7, but 6, I'm going to go with the high upside of Drake London, USC, 6'5", 210 pounds. And for now, he is number 6. It's close with number 7, and I'll get to number 7 on the next video. 88, 1,084, and 7 touchdowns before he had season-ending injury. He is extremely good at the contested catch. He is a lot of times in the slot, though, which is a concern. And he also seems to be poor against the press. So for a 6'5" wide receiver, you would think, okay, well, he should be good against the press. But he seems to be poor against the press. And he's a lot of times hitting the slot. Maybe they'll move him to the outside at some point. And I do see him having the upside. And everyone loves the upside. But Mike Evans is a wide receiver that has a similar, I think, attributes as Drake London. And Drake London is an extremely good wide receiver. But again, compared to Garrett Wilson and compared to Treylon Burks, I do think Drake London is an easy a step below those 2 wide receivers right now. He could test absolutely amazing at the combine, and that could ruin things. All right, so that's the first 6 picks off the board. I'm excited to go through 7 through 12. Again, DeAndre Swift, Dynasty, Fantasy Football. Signed jersey. Well, I mean, just signed jersey. If you get, I'm trying to learn more into the crypto and NFT game too. So if you have, I have like a bunch of questions about that, man. If that just seems like lure into poor people's bait. Like it just seems like it's one of those things like get rich quick schemes, and there are a bunch. I think right now NFTs. All that stuff is right now, it's like, hey, if you're super rich, you can get richer. If you're poor, here's an avenue that you can get rich if you're richer. But if you're poor, it doesn't really help you. Like the NFT game stuff. It's like, I don't have, I mean, 80, 90, maybe 99% of the time, it seems like I'm just reading through some of this stuff. And I could be wrong. I'm just going on a tangent here, just thoughts. It seems like most of them, almost all the time, that you're going to be investing in something and it just goes down the toilet. I mean, goes to zero value. But then there's sometimes that you get a Bored Ape and all of a sudden you're like a millionaire. And I'm not a Bored Ape owner. I am not. But let me know what your experience has been in the crypto or NFT world. I've done a little bit of investing in the crypto world. It's not been so great. It really hasn't. To be honest. I did that in late February of 2021. So I'm almost a full year into the crypto stuff and it has not paid off well. And I've had a negative return on investment. And now that I see all these different ads, NFTs, look at this. You could be win. And I don't even know how to create an NFT. Probably don't know how to do that. I don't know what the heck to do with an NFT if I had it. It's like this stuff, man, I feel like a 10-year-old could teach me stuff on a phone, which is frustrating because I feel like my technological advanced stuff is just like, I feel like I'm just becoming an old man. That's what I'm saying. But maybe you guys are different. Maybe you guys have made it rich. Maybe you guys have made a bunch of money on that stuff, and I'm just dumb. But that could be the case. Maybe not. But let me know your experience. We're gonna go through 7 through 12 next time. All right, peace out. Take care.